My name is Rosemary Hughes, and I was part of the group that interviewed Matt Pargin.
Hi, my name is Audrey Theriak, and I was part of the group that interviewed Matt Pargin.
Hello, my name is Noah Bollinger, and I was part of the group that interviewed Matt Pargin.
My name is Haley Hoke, and I was part of the group who interviewed Matt Pargin.
I expected to get to know more about Matt and get to know more about investments and certain aspects like that.
I don't know. I didn't really expect much. I think when you think about an investment broker or someone that deals with money or like a business person in general, you think of like a very stale person that is boring and is just very, very numbers based. So I was expecting to have a hard time trying to get questions out of him, like get solid answers. And I thought it was going to be hard to find out more about him because I pictured him as this completely different person. And then when we interviewed him, it was completely opposite of what I thought was going to happen.
What I honestly expected from Matt was to just learn about money, but I did expect to get to know him more too.
I expected to get to know Matt a little more and to get to know Shelby.
So how long have you lived in Lawrenceville?
Well, I was born and raised in Lawrenceville. I'm 39. I went to 1 year at VU, and then I went to 4 years at U of I in Champaign. But I came home in the summers, and then after U of I kind of had an interesting job for a summer after that in Florida. But then I lived in Champaign another 2 years. So I think I was gone 6 years total, really. But I've been at Greenville ever since.
Is there any reason why you decided to stay in Lawrenceville?
I'm a financial advisor. I started out in Danville. I was living in Champaign, but commuting to Danville. And an office opened up in Mount Carmel, which was a good opportunity just because the office had opened up at Edward Jones. And so I took over kind of a small book of business. But over time, when I went independent, my broker-dealer now is LPL. So I own my own business. It just felt right to come back. Pretty fortunate I had a lot of family here. You guys all know my mom, we were talking about that, but my grandparents are still healthy and around. My brother was still around, and it's just, I chose family, basically, so.
So how are you involved with Lawrenceville sports? Like, we talked about basketball and things, so how'd you get interested in doing it?
Well, I played all my life. I still play. My whole family, my grandpa played at Georgia Tech, my uncle played at Toledo. You can see gears on the pictures up on, on the state teams. So I've always loved basketball. So my son likes it, so I've been coaching him. But I've been on the Capital Classic board since probably 2008-ish, and I really enjoy that. We obviously host an 8-team varsity tournament, so.
So before your career investments, what did you do?
I really didn't. This was my career from age 23 on. I remember I actually went to U of I and got a finance degree, but I went into aviation as well. So I got my private instrument and commercial rating to learn how to fly, and I got a finance degree. I thought I'd fly. It was a pretty expensive hobby, and it's a pretty long road in the minor leagues to get to where you want in aviation, so I decided to use the finance degree. So I was 23, I worked at A.G. Edwards in Danville, and I remember it was tough. I mean, I didn't have any customers yet, and people are entrusted me with a lot of money usually, and who trusts a 23-year-old that has no experience or no money themselves? So it took a while, but perseverance has kind of led to where I'm at now.
So what got you interested in investments in the first place?
What got me interested in it? To be honest with you, my finance degree, this is just pure honesty, was I thought I'd be a pilot, and it wasn't a 4-year degree. It was more of an associate's degree, which gave you ratings on top of it, and then but it wasn't a 4-year degree, so you had to graduate Illinois with a 4-year. So I just thought I need to know how to manage my own money. So I did a finance major, and then as it turned out, that's what I ended up using. So it wasn't really like I was in high school and thought I wanted to be a financial advisor. I more thought I was going to be a pilot. So, and I didn't know much about being a financial advisor. I remember when I got my first job, which I begged the guy in Danville to hire me, and he hired me, and so I had no experience. But you really don't need a lot going into it. I mean, you could have a bachelor degree is preferred, but teachers make some of the greatest financial advisors, because it's a lot of working with my clients and explain this. It's communication, gathering trust. Investments, you have to have a good understanding of it, but there's not magic to it either. So I think communication is probably the biggest skill that I have, or that you need. So you don't have to be an analyst going into this or anything. Really, a finance degree I think would be good, but it's not required by any stretch of the imagination.
Can you describe the first time you made an investment for someone?
Yeah, I remember a guy walked into the Danville office. He had $150,000. He was retiring. He didn't really need it for income, and I had no idea what I was doing. And he came into my office, and so I started the meeting, and he was very nice. And I went and got my manager halfway through, and I said, "Will you help me with this meeting, just to help it flow?" And so he helped me, and then I spent like a week putting together the portfolio that I presented to him. But yeah, I can still kind of remember the portfolio, and he liked it, and he was a good, kind of quiet client, and we just got along. And he didn't come with me down south; he stayed in Danville. But yeah, I'll never forget that day working with that guy.
So what exactly does an investment broker do?
Well, I try to focus a little more on retirement planning, but so I think now I manage about 380 households, a little less than $50 million, but household meaning a lot of times with a couple, he has a Roth, she has a Roth, he has a traditional IRA, they have a joint account, maybe their kids have some college accounts, but for the most part, people are saving for retirement. That's a big part of it. So they're 30 years old and they're adding to a Roth IRA, and maybe they have a 401k at work by helping plan towards saving enough for retirement. And as they get closer, we look at avenues to when they do retire. Do they have enough? How are we going to invest it? And a lot of my clients are retired, and they're either in one or two situations. They are either going to need income from the investments, or they don't because they have pensions and social security, which carries them. But I help them find avenues to how to invest if they need income, or if it's somebody who doesn't need, it's more of a nest egg account, how to try to grow the money without taking that much risk. So.
Now a big question. Do you enjoy your job?
Yeah, I really do. The hardest times, like in 2008, that was a little scary when the financial system was kind of crumbling, but I think that your book of business, meaning your clients, will start mirroring who you are. So I feel like I really relate to who does business with me, and the relationships are very enjoyable. I think that's 99% of it. There's not a lot of stress here. Honestly, you think it might be stressful. It's not. I'm talking to I consider my clients friends. Shelby is just a wonderful assistant, and she has just a good relationship with the clients as I do, and we have fun in here together. But dealing with people, and then I do like the investment side of it, so I enjoy doing the research and presenting ideas to clients. But I really do enjoy my job. And at LPL, that's my broker-dealer, I own my own branch, so I can name it what I want, which is Pargin Retirement Planning. But so owning your own business, you guys know about the CEO program, which is trying to help entrepreneurs. It's just, America is set up, capitalism has set up America to really help people who want to own their own business. And to me, there's just a lot of benefits. There's more risk, but there's a lot of rewards. Income can kind of follow suit the harder you work, and you can kind of create your own destiny there. If I want to take off on a Friday afternoon to golf, I'm not taking a day off. I'm not requesting a day off. I just make arrangements and I do it. So there's a lot of perks to own your own business, but there's also a lot of risk financially too, of course.
So if you were to give advice to like high school students about their own finances, like what is some basic advice that you give to them?
Well, the age-old advice is that it's not any magic to it. It's just starting early. There's kind of an old cliche. Somebody can save $2,000 from age 20 to 30, so for 10 years. And if you save that $2,000 for that period of time, it would take somebody from age 30 who started till 60 to have the same amount of money at age 60. And the reason why is just time value of money. The longer your money has to earn interest and to work for you, the more powerful it is. So I have a lot of people who are in here, they sit right here and they're 50 years old and they make the same comment, I wish I would have started saving earlier. I mean, I've heard it a million times. The hard thing about it is usually when you're younger you don't have that much money, but and usually you're raising kids and it's kind of it's not your high earning years, but it's amazing if you put together an investment plan. It's all systematized for the most part. You can come in here and say, Matt, I want to save $50 a month, and you don't really miss unless that's all you're making. I mean, but if you can put back $50 a month, $100 a month and get it started, it's pretty powerful, and usually the people won't miss that money. They'll budget around it. And so we have a lot of young people who say, Matt, on the 15th of the month, take X amount of dollars, and there's not much thought to it, and this goes into an investment program. So I would recommend doing that as soon as you have the income to start implementing it.
Can you tell me about the downtown revitalization? Like, what did you do? How did you help? Did you enjoy it?
So I actually had my office, I had a partner for a while, and in 2008 we moved to Vincent's, our office over there. And I made the decision to come back to Lawrenceville, and we ended that partnership because most of my clients were in Illinois anyway. And when I did that, the first thing I did was I bought a truck locally. I changed my checking account to a bank that was advertising Lawrenceville Indian checks, and I heard there was a downtown project that was starting, and it had a very grandiose kind of scheme about what they were trying to accomplish. It's evolved a lot. I'm actually the president then. I was just kind of asking if I could be included back then. But we basically evolved from trying to get a grant that would get this big project done to we decided to forget about the grant and just raise money on our own and try to beautify on our own. So a couple of us came up with the idea of the party on the roof. We do the art and wine. That's more of a give back. It doesn't make a lot of money, but an enjoyable day. But we really wanted to make our downtown quaint. I think that puts people in a good mood. It gives people local pride, to drive through. So the things that we've done so far is we've collaborated with the city and we've replaced sidewalks downtown. We've added the pedestrian, have you guys noticed the black lights, the pedestrian lights that go around the square? That's content. We have a lot in storage. We're going to add to those. Flower program was probably our it's our most inexpensive thing we do, but it probably has the biggest impact. We actually just took the flower pots last week. We get them up at Oblong, and so they put them in a greenhouse. So that process just started last week, and we'll get them in May. So the flower program really gets a lot of notice. The thing I'm excited about is we're going to edge into helping people with their facades of their business. Some are a little more timeless, some are a little more dated, and we want to help people kind of bring those back to life. But to me, we have a beautiful square. The courthouse is a neat old building. Not everybody has that kind of structure where it's all hubbed in one spot, and it's not that hard to maintain in our thoughts. So it's a non-for-profit. We're not trying to accomplish anything personally except trying to make everybody have pride with where they live. So
what is your favorite thing about living in Lawrenceville?
My favorite thing, well, family is probably the main thing, and I have a lot. I was kind of lucky. It seems like it goes in stretches a little, but I have a lot of friends that stayed, so I have a good base of friends and acquaintances. I mean, countless family members. I really do have the luxury of a lot of family, so it's just the relationships, I think. It always probably seems intriguing to move away into these exotic places, but when you're there, you just don't have, it's still not home, I don't think. You can make it home, but it's still not, it would be hard for me to replace that, the relationships that I have.
Do you have any advice to give high school students about anything?
Yeah, sure I do. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. Probably the main thing is, and I didn't really have this problem a whole lot, I don't think, but debt. It's easy to start acquiring debt from college to car debt to home debt, and you just don't, you think of these payments, but you just don't realize how much that is going to be weight on your shoulders financially. And money's not everything, but if it's a worry, it is very stressful on a person. And so I think that you really have to watch. College can be amazing. You know, I'll hear these people who have a $200,000 college loan and they're working at Abercrombie. You know, that breaks my heart. So I think really thinking about acquiring debt, take that seriously, would be one of the main things. And marry well. I married well, and you really have to pick your spouse well, because that's the key to happiness. So be picky.
What did you take from the interview?
I was surprised from what I took. Not only did I learn about investments and how you should plan and when you should start, but I also, learned how to be more responsible. I learned that it's okay to get involved with your talent, and it's actually really fun too. You get to learn new things and meet new people.
I think I learned a new perspective on Lawrenceville and some of the people in Lawrenceville. I didn't really know who was in charge of the downtown revitalization. I didn't know who was a part of it. And I think I really learned a lot about that and what it means to really be an active member of your community and how to put a lot of effort into that.
Well, I learned that Matt was actually a pretty interesting guy, as well as his career and stuff. And I also learned that you should stay home, because then you can visit Las Vegas or something, go gambling and stuff. But if you live somewhere else, you gotta visit family and not saying I don't love my family, but
I actually learned a lot. He gave great advice about business partners and futures and stuff like that, about maybe staying closer to home, because I planned to move away when I left. When I got out of high school, I planned to travel, but now I realize that I could stay home and it would be really fun to be able to see my family.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was the beginning where we all, Shelby and Matt were there and we all got to know each other. I felt like Matt was really interested in who we were and wanted to know more about us. I felt comfortable there. And I think my favorite part also was the mini drinks I got. Those were just so cute.
I think my favorite part was just sitting in Matt's office where we were just all sitting there in these big chairs and we were just talking. It was like we all had a connection for some reason, and I think to a point that connection was Lawrenceville for all of us. But I didn't expect it, I think is why. I expected some weird business person that wasn't going to want to talk to us about his life or about his family, and he completely opened up to us. And I think my favorite part was just making that connection with him, and I didn't foresee that at all.
My favorite part was probably just getting to know Matt a lot. He was a really nice person. And I thought he was a really great person. He was really nice. He told me a lot about himself, and I felt like he got to know us and we got to know him. He was really good about wanting to get to know all of us too.
What are your future plans from this?
I plan to stay around Lawrenceville more. I plan to leave at first and go off and explore, but what Matt said was right. If you live in Lawrenceville, you can take vacations anywhere, whereas if you live somewhere else, your vacations will be coming back home to visit your family.
My favorite part, it was honestly just getting to know Matt, getting to know that he wasn't just some boring guy that dealt with money and stuff, but he was actually like an interesting guy with, like, he was 3D, he wasn't 2D on a world. He was a person, he had a personality. I was expecting something from like the movies or something.
What are like the future implications? Do you plan to do anything because of this?
I plan to get involved with our town, and then Matt also mentioned family, that he stayed around for family. My friends are my family, so I plan on, probably moving to Vincent's, but still staying close to them because they're my family and I want to be close to them.
I think I'd like to learn more about the downtown revitalization and possibly think of like a program or something to get more teenagers involved in programs like the downtown revitalization, or completely starting a new program based in our community, so that way teenagers and kids in general get to learn more about their community and they don't grow up thinking, the way we thought, this is a redneck town. We can't do anything in this town. We're not going to be able to grow here. And I think we learned a lot more about it, and I think your community becomes what you put into it. I think it's a lot of effort, and when you put a lot of yourself into it, the community is going to grow. So I think I'd like to help with that.
Stay around Lawrenceville more. I plan to leave at first and go off and explore, but what Matt said was right. If you live in Lawrenceville, you can take vacations anywhere, whereas if you live somewhere else, your vacations will be coming back home to visit your family. So I thought that was nice.
Not really. I still want to leave Lawrenceville and Illinois in general. Guess whenever you lived here for 17 years, you just get tired of seeing corn everywhere.